Did you know that if bees disappeared from the face of the earth, we wouldn't just lose honey? We could lose up to 70% of our food supply? That your morning coffee, your favorite fruit, and even the cotton in your clothes all depend on a creature that weighs less than a paperclip? Bees might be small, but they play a colossal role in the grand web of life. And yet, they're dying. Fast. This isn't just an ecological crisis, it's a ticking clock for human survival. Here's why bees may be the single most important creatures on Earth. So before we dive in, just to let you know that we're seeing that 55% of our viewers who watch our channel regularly have not subscribed to us yet, so we're asking you a favor. Before we start our deep dive, if you like us and want to support us, there's a free and simple way to do that. Just hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out when we put out new videos. We assure you that we will commit to bringing you the best videos each week. We also crave your feedback and suggestions as we aim to give you the best content possible. Most people think of bees as cute buzzing honey makers, but that's barely scratching the surface. There are over 20,000 species of bees in the world, and only a tiny fraction produce honey. Bees are pollinators, and that makes them essential to life as we know it. When a bee lands on a flower, it's not just gathering nectar, it's also collecting pollen, then spreading it to other plants. This simple act, repeated billions of times, allows plants to reproduce. Without this process, we don't just lose plants. We lose the animals that eat those plants, the predators that eat those animals, and the humans who rely on them all. Pollination isn't just about food either. It's about ecosystem stability. Wildflowers, trees, and entire forests rely on bee pollination. And so do crops like apples, almonds, blueberries, watermelons, coffee, and even chocolate. No bees equals no chocolate. Let that sink in. Here's a jaw dropper. Bees contribute to 1/3 of the food we eat. Let's break it down. Imagine your grocery store. Walk down the produce aisle. Now remove every fruit, vegetable, nut, seed, and legume that depends on pollination. Gone. Now take out the meat and dairy, because livestock feed like alfalfa also depends on pollinators. Gone. Now remove the cotton clothing you're wearing, because even cotton is bee-pollinated. Welcome to the post-bee apocalypse. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 75% of the world's food crops depend, at least in part, on pollination, and bees are the most efficient and economically valuable pollinators we have. In fact, bee pollination is estimated to be worth over $200 billion annually to global agriculture. Without them, we'd have to rely on artificial pollination, a slow, inefficient, and very expensive process. Did you know? In parts of China, humans already hand-pollinate crops due to local bee extinction. This isn't science fiction, it's happening now. Did you know that bees aren't just wild pollinators, they're also seasonal farm workers? Every year, companies hire commercial beekeepers to pollinate crops on a massive scale. In the United States alone, thousands of beekeepers load their hives onto flatbed trucks and drive them across the country, following the bloom cycles of major crops. In February, millions of bees are shipped to California's Central Valley to pollinate over 1 million acres of almond trees, the single largest pollination event in the world. Then they move on to pollinate apples in Washington, blueberries in Maine, cranberries in Wisconsin, and melons in Texas. This practice is called migratory beekeeping, and it's now the backbone of modern agriculture. These bees travel thousands of miles each year, often more than most humans do. And without their labor, entire harvests would fail. But this nomadic life is tough on bees. The stress of transportation, exposure to pesticides at multiple farms, and lack of diet diversity all take a toll, making them more vulnerable to disease and collapse. Even bees have burnout. Bee populations are plummeting. Wild bee numbers are down in many regions. Honeybee colonies are disappearing at alarming rates, a phenomenon known as colony collapse disorder. In the United States alone, beekeepers reported losing over 40% of their colonies in just 1 year. That's not sustainable. So, what's killing the bees? The answer, a perfect storm of threats. Pesticides, especially neonicotinoids, which disorient bees and damage their nervous systems. Habitat loss, from urbanization and industrial farming. Monoculture crops, which eliminate plant diversity and reduce food sources. Parasites like the varroa mite, which feed on bee blood and spread disease. Climate change, which disrupts flowering seasons and migratory patterns. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And if bees vanish completely, the domino effect could trigger widespread famine, economic collapse, and ecological disaster. A keystone species is one whose impact on its ecosystem is disproportionately large. Remove it, and the entire structure collapses. Bees are the architects of biodiversity. They support wild plants, forests, and grasslands. They feed animals indirectly by feeding plants. Without bees, forests thin out, soil erodes, watersheds dry up, species go extinct, and it doesn't stop at plants. Did you know? Around 87% of flowering plant species depend on animal pollinators, mostly bees, for reproduction. That means bees help maintain the oxygen cycle, the carbon cycle, and the water cycle. They're like tiny planetary engineers. Let's imagine a world without bees. It starts subtly. Food prices skyrocket. Fruits become rare luxuries. Poorer nations face starvation. Pollinator-reliant crops are replaced by processed, less nutritious alternatives. Over time, malnutrition rises, ecosystems unravel, entire economies collapse. This isn't just about insects. This is about the web of life unraveling from its core. And once that thread breaks, it may be impossible to rewind. Einstein is often misquoted as saying, "If the bee disappeared off the face of the earth, man would only have 4 years left to live." He probably didn't say it, but the sentiment remains chillingly accurate. Yes, but we're running out of time. Here's what's working: banning harmful pesticides like neonicotinoids in parts of Europe. Urban beekeeping, turning cities into sanctuaries, planting pollinator gardens rich in native wildflowers, restoring habitat corridors for wild bees, educating farmers and consumers about bee-friendly practices. And yes, you can help too. Here's how. Plant bee-friendly flowers like lavender, clover, or sunflowers. Avoid chemical pesticides, buy organic and local, support ethical beekeepers, spread awareness. Even the smallest action helps the smallest creature, and that creature may just save the world. Bees don't just make honey, they make life bloom. They feed us, clothe us, heal us, and balance our ecosystems. They are a tiny species with a giant responsibility, and right now, that responsibility falls on us too. So next time you see a bee buzzing near a flower, don't swat it, watch it, appreciate it, because without that humble insect, everything else could come crashing down. If this blew your mind, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment to show your support for these incredible creatures. And remember, every share of this video spreads awareness, and that might just save the bees. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next Did You Know?